live. So, welcome everyone to session 8 of Fight Them in the Mountains, my MYFAROG, campaign using the Coming rule set. And to recap where we were, especially for Trenton here, who was not present. So, it was basically the two Fernando and Will were introduced to kind of like the the goings on around the camp. Joseph Breckenridge was assigned to like a group of hunters, and they've been out in the woods, hunting game since where they are, they don't have great access to fresh food, and they kind of have to live off the land. So hunting is kind of a big staple where they are. But then a few things, they unloaded some supplies, and then they Fernando and Will were assigned to the night watch, and Joseph Breckenridge was on the day shift. So they didn't really have. They came into contact once when the hunting party was returning with some freshly hunted game. But anyways, the Fernando and Will were assigned to the night watch with Daniel, the man that they had met when they first arrived, plus two other guys named Nathan and Alex. And it wasn't even within like an hour of their watch that things started to go awry. I believe it was Will had thought he had heard something, and he called on, I think it was Nathan, to help investigate. And there they found a squadron of Soviet troops that had been mauled to death by something. They didn't know what. Naturally, one, it's a group of Soviet soldiers, and the manner of their death, they called in the other guys to respond. They went a little further into the woods to investigate, as they'd heard some screams of terror coming out into the woods. And eventually they came across a creature which they had later identified as a skinwalker. The skinwalker attacked them. Nathan was pretty badly injured, and so was Fernando. Not just from the attack from the skinwalker, but a little bit of friendly fire from I believe Will, who'd shot and broke Fernando's leg. But eventually the creature was killed, and the wounded was brought back to the base to patch up their wounds as much as they can. Unfortunately, the medical staff at their new base isn't particularly well equipped to deal with the injuries so severe. So the party has packed up into their camper van, and they're left off into the night again to seek help for their injured comrade. So I guess we'll do like a little bit of backtracking, since Mr. Joseph Breckenridge is, back a part of the party now. So we'll just kind of maybe see what kind of what was going on with Mr. Joseph Breckenridge. As we said, he was on the like on the day watch. He was part of the hunting party, and he's probably at some point, was awoken by like some, the commotion from what was going on, or like the incident that happened during the night watch, and found out that his comrade was very badly injured. So obviously, Fernando has been placed in the camper van. They kind of set the bone and maybe stabilized his leg the best they could. And they just laid him down, and Will and Daniel and Nathan are, standing around the van. Alex is staying behind. So let's say, how does Joseph Breckenridge rejoin the party?
He's probably in the morning going to seek out.
It's the middle of the night. It's like,
oh yes,
it's like, let's say maybe like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. You were probably like awoken from your sleep, so you're probably like really groggy.
I guess Joseph, because he would hear gunfire, would grab his assault rifle and put on his hat and run to see what's the matter.
So pretty much like as you kind of scramble to get your gear on and your rifle ready, you like kind of run out of the barracks and see Nathan, Daniel, Fernando, and Will, just kind of hurriedly making their way back to the base. You can very clearly see like their help, like they're like carrying Fernando, and you could probably see, like, there's probably not a whole lot of light, but you can probably make out that his leg's pretty fucked up, and they're also carrying. You can also see that they brought this really grotesque, creature that looks vaguely like a man dressed in like it looks like a Soviet soldier, but it's just something's not right with it. So
I see. Joseph's probably gonna throw his rifle back over his shoulder and run up to them and say, "Guys, what happened? Everyone all right?"
No, Fernando got shot. We just, everything was quiet for a little bit, and then this thing came out of nowhere. I'm not sure what the heck it is.
Well, shit. I don't know what that is either.
Yeah, it's doesn't smell too good, and it doesn't look too good. And Fernando's pretty badly hurt, so.
Is Fernando conscious?
He's conscious, yes.
Is he like screaming in pain, or is he taking it pretty well?
I don't think screaming will help him. So I think he's just Yeah, he is not feeling great about it. It hurts, but he's not screaming because the pain isn't like as sharp as when it happened. Maybe when he like moves his leg a little bit, he feels the pain and then lets out a sound or two, but it's not like screaming like that all the time. It's just a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, you're feeding back a little bit.
Trying to keep my psychological state intact.
Okay, so essentially, I think like the way that we'd how it kind of played out, Will kind of put two and two together, kind of with the whole Mothman encounter. He kind of like knew a guy from his old job in a textile mill who was kind of like all into like sort of like weird like cryptid creatures. That's how he knew about the Mothman, and that's how he figured out about the Skinwalker thing, which is weird because the Skinwalker is a creature from Navajo tradition, and the Navajo are from further west, but the name has just been kind of given to like similar creatures that are sometimes seen like in other parts of the world.
I see.
So after a while, they take their injured to the very very ill-equipped infirmary. They take X-rays of Fernando's leg. They verify it is indeed broken. They patch him up as well as they can, but obviously he needs very serious medical attention. So the commander, Mr. Commander Jaeger, gives them kind of rough coordinates to where they might be able to get some help. There is a hospital in the town of New Martinsville, which is a little bit to the west, that some peacekeeping forces have been rumored to have kept open to provide medical care to those who need it. But as far as they know, that's just a rumor. They don't know for sure. So the party piles into their camper van, and now they're setting back out into the dark night.
I like to imagine that I'm covered in blankets.
Yeah, they probably made sure that you're a little extra comfortable. They tried to
just
like
because I can't move. Yeah.
make it so that like your leg doesn't move around so much.
Yeah. But yeah, enough about that.
I'm gonna say Trent Joseph, since he kind of got woken up like from his sleep, I'm gonna say he has the tired condition until like he can get a little bit more rest. So that's a -1 mod to all like skill checks, and he cannot dash. I believe it's Daniel or one of the NPCs is driving the vehicle. So
yeah.
So I guess
I remember it was Daniel, I think.
Yeah. So I guess you guys can just kind of role play a little bit. While you're on your way to this
Martinsville.
New Martinsville, and the hope that there is a medical facility that can help them.
Well, I'm probably just gonna be silent for the most part, unless somebody asks a question.
Yeah, I feel like Will's probably just gonna make some adjustments on his night vision scope there, because it wasn't shooting too accurately the last time he used it. But yeah, he's just gonna kind of observe what's going on and see if he can recognize where we're headed to. But
so the place we're going to is called McKinley, right?
New Martinsville.
Oh, New Martinsville.
Yeah. Now we're going there. Let's hope they've got some, better treatment that they can give me. But that was a really ugly and really scary creature.
yeah, that was a close call. I'm really sorry that I kind of incinerated your leg there.
You were only trying to help, but I should have ran. I shouldn't have fought. It was so close to me.
Yeah, but you saw how fast those things were moving.
Yeah, I know, but in these moments you don't think, you just act. So I can't blame you for anything, or me.
Well, thanks for being so understanding, but I still feel bad. I'll
Yeah.
try to never do that again.
I mean, you didn't mean to do it, so therefore, there's no reason to feel bad. I'll be fine. It's just a little scar. I'm sure
Well,
it'll heal
we'll
quickly.
do our best to try and get you fixed up here and move as fast as we can here.
Yeah. I think Daniel is gonna try his best to get us quickly to where we need to be.
Yeah, they're not moving particularly fast because it's dark. It's dark
Oh.
out. You still only have one headlight, and
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
it's kind of a windy
Yeah, well
road.
then
so,
let's at least hope we get there in one piece.
yeah, it's it's gonna be like at best like maybe like 45 minutes to get where you are,
Oh, that's good.
provided nothing goes wrong, of course.
Oh well, then let's just hope we don't get any kind of nasty surprises along the way, such as more of these crazy creatures. And well, you know what? I'm just hoping we're fine and we don't have major accidents. But I mean, I can still be of use, although I'm injured.
Yeah, you can still technically like shoot, but I think you have like a pretty hefty minus to.
Maybe it's best I don't.
But if you absolutely had to, you could.
Yeah, sure. If I needed to, as a last resort, sure. I'll be fine in the car. You guys can do the work.
Okay, so I think you're probably like a few miles down the road. As you're kind of talking, you kind of feel like Daniel kind of like not necessarily slam on the brakes, but he like kind of like kind of stops a little bit more hastily, or slows down, so you kind of like shift forward a little bit, and you look out the windshield, and there's a black bear just kind of, roaming around in the middle of the road.
Okay. Do I see that, or is it just am I where am I? Like, on the in the back, right? I don't see that, right?
You could probably like kind of sit up a little bit and turn around,
Uh-huh.
assuming you're not facing like forward. But if you are, you could just like kind of sit up and kind of maybe.
Okay. Well, I would like to be facing forward. I'd like to see what's going on.
Yeah. So again, you can all see this because it's it's in the headlight.
Okay.
So you just got this black bear in the middle of the road. That's just. It's not really It's probably just looking for some food or something.
Well, it's the first normal creature we see in this forest.
Majestic, but this is kind of slowing us down a little bit here.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just go past it and hope it doesn't try to attack the vehicle.
Okay. I'm gonna just kind of drive past the bear and see what happens. Yeah, you just drive past the bear, like no problem. You maybe kind of wait for like a few minutes for it to kind of move just off the road enough that you can drive past it. And again, as you said, it's like your first normal creature that you've come across during this trip. Pretty the next like few miles pretty uneventful. Not a whole lot that you see. Probably just drive by a few houses, but it's mostly just trees and more trees, all around. It's probably maybe like 20 some minutes down the road. You see something on the side of the road. It looks like a body, like a person, like a human.
I'm guessing Daniel would probably be the one pointing that out, if he saw that headlights, or.
Actually, all of you. Actually,
Like, did
yeah.
he kind of point it out, or we all just kind of noticed it?
Actually, yeah. Every Joseph and Will can roll perception, see if they see it.
Sure.
Okay. I got a natural 20.
What a champ.
Got a 17 altogether.
Oh yeah, you definitely see it, and actually, what you see is it's not just a. You think you at first thing you just see one man, but as you get closer, you see about 5 more of these bodies, and they also appear to be like militant. They also appear to be like soldiers. They are. Let me see. See if they're good guys. Well, it doesn't matter because they're dead, but. These are more Soviet soldiers that are dead, but unlike the last ones that you've seen that were mauled to death, these look like they've been they were in some sort of gunfight, you could tell, and lost, or at least these 6 did. So you got 6 more dead Soviet soldiers.
Well, on one hand, that's 6 less of them. On the other hand, some part of me doesn't want to find out who did this. If we don't already know.
Maybe it's the fanatic Christians.
I mean, it could really honestly be anybody, but as far as you can tell, like, these guys were just shot dead by somebody. I guess what's also more worrying is that there is definitely a Soviet presence in the area.
Yeah, it's actually quite concerning. So many in such a small amount of time that we've seen. It's certainly not as safe as we think it is.
We'll just have to hope whoever's doing it keeps on going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad the other thing isn't alive. But if you mean these guys, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'd rather real humans than, some kind of freaky monsters.
So, let's see. Let me see here. These guys have been. These guys have been. You can probably see that these guys have been dead for a few days, and for the most part, like, they look like they've just been like somebody's already gone through them. Like, they don't have any weapons or anything on them, so.
Well,
I guess at that point.
I don't suppose we should bury them. Or should we? Or what? We're going to, we're not, here to be concerned with them, I guess.
We could always take their uniforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they might have, like, body armor might want to like wash it off a little bit, so it probably got a little gross.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking more like because like as extra clothing and maybe to use the cloth for bandages.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. So
Yeah, if we do that quickly. Yeah. I just feel like quickly is a good idea.
Yeah. I guess we'll do that. I'll put the uniforms on my character sheet.
okay, so as Joseph, you go out to strip these bodies of their uniforms. You kind of start to hear some rustling in the like in the trees, just like just a footfall, but you can't. You just hear like leaves crunching in the in the forest.
Joseph is by this point very justifiably paranoid of the forest, so he's going to look up, scan the tree line, and then go back to taking the uniforms.
Let's see. Yeah, make a perception roll with a minus. Yeah, with a -2. Since you don't have any form of night vision on you.
Oh shit! I could have given you mine. Sorry.
That is a 7 then.
Yeah, you look out into the like in the direction where you think you heard the sound, but you can't see. You can't see anything. It's too dark.
Hmm.
So what?
Hey, is Daniel still at the steering wheel?
Yeah, he's still in the in the van. He hasn't moved.
Oh, I'm gonna give him my night vision and tell him to give it to Joseph.
Alright, so
Well, if he wants to do it. I mean, unless he prefers to stay inside.
I mean,
If I can convince him to do that.
alright, so what did you have? I think you had night vision goggles, I believe, along with your scope for your
Yeah,
rifle.
but I won't be using them. So I want to give them away, yeah.
So you're just giving it because as of right now you kind of don't need it because you're a little incapacitated.
Yeah, I
So-
don't think they're any good on me, so he'll definitely benefit from them a lot
Okay,
more.
so yeah, Daniel will he'll hand Daniel like your goggles, and he'll kind of yell out to Joseph. Basically, he's just like, "Hey, Joseph, catch!"
Do I need to roll to see if I catch it?
Yeah, yeah, roll for
Yeah, let's break the night vision.
acrobatics to see if you catch it.
Oof, that's a 5.
Um.
How hard is it to catch fucking
All right.
goggles?
So, yeah, Daniel just kind of chucks it in your direction, but you you reach for it, but it's like just out of your reach, and it just kind of tumbles to the ground. And let me roll to see if
It's not
damaged.
broken, is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll to see if it's damaged. It's fine.
Yay!
It maybe
Oh,
just got
so
like
glad.
cosmetically, it's probably got a little scuffed up from being dropped on
Scratch.
basically like paved road, but it's functionally it works just fine.
Nice.
All right, I'll pick it up and use it to look into the forest again.
Yeah, make another perception check without the -2, like for the darkness, but you still have the -1 for your tiredness level.
Guess what? I rolled a 2.
Oh.
Somehow you can't. Somehow you can't. You can't figure out how to turn on the night vision goggles.
But you think you have.
So you're probably just kind of fiddling with it, trying to get it to turn on. It's like for so.
I guess Will would see this. Will would see this happening. Him just struggling to get this on, and he kind of just hops out. And what's going on? Like, everything good?
Yeah. I don't see anything.
Here, I'll help you grab these uniforms, and we'll get going here. And will start grabbing some of the uniforms.
Alright. So it's gonna take you probably like 10 minutes to strip the uniforms off of these dead soldiers. Let's see. Just stripping off the the uniforms. You get just get them all off, but you also find out of the 6, you find 4 perfectly usable Kevlar vests.
I guess so. We do already have Kevlar vests.
You have flak jackets.
Oh, flak jackets.
Is that an
I see.
upgrade? Or
Which is
Kevlar?
Kevlar. The Kevlar vest is you don't
it's better
have
armor
like
penetration here.
the plus DV, but you have better armor penetration.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Not bad.
I'll keep what I have.
Alright, so you recover like what loot you can find off of these soldiers and get back into the van, and you head off. And not even like a minute down the road that you hear Daniel like shout shit, and you kind of swerve a little bit, and there's a big thud like coming from the front, and the vehicle stops.
What now? Daniel?
Well,
What's up, bro?
I think I found out think I found out what Joe was what we were hearing out there, and he motions out to front of him, and you see that he is he's hit a deer with the van.
Okay.
And you can also see there's like
Roadkill.
a handful of deer just kind of, you know, scattering off into the distance, just in the very, you know, little light from the one headlight that you have. The vehicle does not appear to be damaged, from what you can probably tell. So, actually, let me see about that. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, like there's basically very little damage to the vehicle. Maybe maybe the front end is a little dented in from the impact, and maybe it's a little bloody, but mechanically it's in good shape. So now you just have a mangled deer carcass,
Ah.
like
Huh.
in the middle of the road.
Wow.
Do we want to move it, or is
Are we
anyone
taking
feeling
that
hungry?
too, or? I mean, we could take it for like payment for my treatment, I guess. But I mean, I don't want it to go to waste. But if you guys don't want to like
Yeah, you got
stink the car up with deer,
you got, you know, a whole deer. Like, you know, Joseph was
Yeah.
part of the hunting party, so
I mean,
maybe
deer is a nice gift. I
maybe
wouldn't
he,
turn that down. I would take a deer any day.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
maybe he knows how to,
my.
you know, kind of butcher the deer, kind of process
Yeah,
it.
and
but-
also the hide is just very precious. Like they can skin it and make themselves a rug or something, or maybe clothes. I mean, sounds fancy. And if it's got like horns, it could also be a trophy.
yeah.
Mounted on the
So
wall.
it's kind of
That's a deer on the van.
What's up? I'm sorry, you kind of cut
gotta
out a
go
little bit.
hunting for deer with a car more often.
You could put the you could take the antlers off the deer and like put it like on the front.
Oh, yeah.
You could do that. Probably when we get there, though. Let's not forget that
One shooting
I'm in relative pain.
at a deer kill, golf balls in the eye sockets, and they drew like veins and stuff on it. Really cool.
Alright, so
Oh,
what
yeah,
are you guys doing with
if you
this
want.
deer?
I guess we would
I
take
think
it.
taking it.
You're gonna take
I
it.
mean, yeah, we're gonna take it. I mean, I can't.
I mean, obviously you
I'll
can't
encourage
really,
you guys to do
you
it.
can't really do too much. You're just kind of moral support at this point.
Yeah, I'm like backseat driving and backseat telling what I think, but I can't do much more than that, unfortunately.
So you're gonna take this deer. You're gonna say. So let's say what Will and Joseph just kind of drag the carcass to like the like maybe not off the side of the road, but closer to the back, and Are you just gonna like load it up into the back, or are you gonna like start like skinning it, or what?
I think strikes me as the sort to,
While driving.
so maybe he could start gutting it.
I'm gonna say, would that be
Probably foraging.
foraging? Yeah. Make a foraging roll to see how you gut this deer.
That is a 16.
Yep, it's just kind of like business as usual. You probably, it's just kind of like maybe like muscle memory. You just kind of start cutting into the deer and throwing out, like, cutting out all like the organs and guts and whatnot. Maybe you kind of start skinning the like getting the hide off of the animal and cutting up a few.
In the car. Is he doing that in the car?
Where else am I gonna do it?
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm just wondering. I don't have anything against it. Why should I? I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna say, I'm gonna say Nathan speaks of it. He's just like, if you cut that thing up in here, this whole van's gonna be a bloody mess.
I mean, I don't care, but
All right.
I mean,
I mean, you started. Might as well keep going, right?
I mean, you could probably like kind of gut it out in the open.
Yeah, I suppose.
Just like have. So yeah, as you said, you kind of, you gut it. You skin the animal. So now you have a. You have the animal skin that it would need tanned, and you kind of very quickly cut up some nice cuts of venison that could be used for cooking or maybe trading if the opportunity arrives, or at least for like a couple of days before it goes off.
Good stuff.
So yeah, you guys kind of after that probably just leave the remains of the carcass on the side of the road for the like some carrion animals to have their way with. So now you have a untanned pelt and some meat.
Yeah.
And a nice head of antlers.
Good job.
Thank you. My compliments to Nathan, who of course hunted the beast.
Well,
Yeah, I think he
Daniel was
definitely.
Good job.
the driver.
Daniel, I think, the driver. Yeah. But yeah, wasn't particularly trying. Just so happened.
So you guys, after you guys pile back into the van and you move off, further. And I'm doing like encounters a little bit differently. Like normally you would roll for like every hour, but I've kind of like changed it to like a few minutes because
Oh,
It's a big forest, and it's dark out, so things might kind of pop up. And
well, will certainly be more eventful that way. That's for sure.
yeah,
You're doing the table from the book or your own
um,
or a mix.
I have like I have like my own little table that
Uh-huh.
I made up.
Sure.
But if depending on what I roll, I will use the table in the coming module. It's most. I mean, I am kind of using. I'm using kind of things from the book as like all like the non-human creatures and any other creatures that I may have created are basically as they came in the standard setting, like the bear and the large game, or rather the deer.
It's quite handy.
Yeah. So. Now you're just off driving again, and you don't really see any more creatures, and eventually it starts to get a little bit more suburban, we'll say, and eventually you now find yourself in a more urban setting. There's like a let's see, you find yourself kind of in a more urban setting. Where's that? Sorry, I'm just looking through the map to get me where exactly we're going. But you're out of the woods. That's the good part. And every so often, you don't really see too many people out because at this point it's like 4:30 in the morning. Still, late in the night, but you still have a little bit of activity. You can see some, like what appears to be, armed soldiers kind of walking up and down the streets. But what's different about them is they're all wearing like blue helmets. Either blue helmets or they have like these blue colored berets on. But they're walking up and down the streets with automatic weapons.
Can I roll World Lore to see if I would know what this is?
Yes.
That's probably not a success. That's 0.
0.
Yep. Because I have no, that's 1. Because I have -5 to World Lore. No, -4 to World Lore, and then I have -1 because of tired.
So you just how tired you are, you just can't. Your brain just kind of shuts down, we'll say. like you're trying to think, but it's just, like it's you keep drawing blanks.
Well, I guess I can try from far away, or maybe Will can try, and then if he doesn't, I'll try.
Yeah, I'll give it a roll.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. Blue helmets.
Four altogether.
Okay. Wait, let me do it as well.
Yeah.
Um, do I have any mods, like negative, I mean?
I don't think
Just
so.
if you're
Like
untrained.
you're
Still-
not tired. You're not tired.
Still dark, I guess. No.
I
but
mean,
it
you
could
can
be
see-
dark,
You can,
I
you can
guess.
see them in the headlights. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, there's lights, okay. Alright.
And there's also
Oh,
like a few street
not...
lights. What's up?
Yeah, 13. 13. Right.
You can kind of deduce that these are United Nations peacekeepers. What really gives it away is the
I thought so.
UN on the like in white on the their blue helmets.
Question is, whose side are they on?
And they're certainly not pro-Russia.
You can, I mean,
Pro-Soviet
just
Union.
looking at the kind of arms, they are
I
definitely
think that's what I'm
they're
thinking.
Western
Russia.
arms. Like they have like every so often, like you'll see some with basically like M16s. Some of them have HKG3s, like what Fernando has.
I guess the question is more, are they here as a pro-America force, or are they here just generally to protect the civilian population?
Oh, I couldn't tell you that, to be honest.
You could probably if you want to find out, you could probably well, they don't seem to be you know, minding you. They aren't aggressive from what you can tell. They're obviously kind of watching you as they drive by, you drive by, because it's kind of late at night, and especially now, like as the way things are, vehicles aren't super common. So, let's see. Let me see here. You come across a group of like 4 of these peacekeepers as you're driving past like what was like a gas station and like a little strip mall. As a matter of fact, they actually kind of like stop you. So Daniel stops the vehicle and rolls down the window, and one of these peacekeepers walks up and is like, what business do you have out here at this late hour?
Well, we're driving up to New Martinsville because we heard tell there was a hospital there.
That's correct. There is a hospital. He's a little further up the road. Once you like see like a big school building, make a right and just follow the road down, and there's a hospital out there. We've been sent by the United Nations to provide medical care to the civilian population that might have been suffered from at the hands of Russian forces, or really any armed militia, be it military or a less organized military.
Well, I wish you gentlemen luck.
Wait, so these guys are professional, sort of like medics?
They're not medics. Well, at least these groups are not, but they are. Essentially, it's they are members of like a nation's military, but they are serving under the banner of the United Nations. That's essentially what I understand what peacekeepers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought one of them was like a medic. Never mind. I guess we're gonna go to the hospital.
Okay. So they send you on your way. Daniel drives a little further up the road. And finally makes his way to this hospital. It's not a particularly big hospital, but you can see there is a United Nations flag with a weird little acronym at the bottom that says UNAAG underneath the United Nations symbol.
We'll have to ask what that stands for.
Okay. So, as you get out, as you disembark from the vehicle, you see there's some more peacekeepers with their blue berets standing guard outside of the main entrance. Just two of them. So you want to find out what that acronym means, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so one of them tells, you walk up to one of them and you ask what that acronym means, and he basically says it means United Nations American Assistance Group.
I see. Thank you, sir.
He says he obviously he notices that you're helping Fernando out. You're probably I don't know if like one of you is like carrying him, or two of them are
I'm on a stretcher.
Okay, so you carry him part of the way in, and they see that obviously you are injured, and they call for some medics they come in with a stretcher and they whisk you away to have your leg taken care of. They also take Nathan away because his arm was pretty has a pretty significant gash in it from the skinwalker encounter. So now it's just Joe, Will, and it's just Joseph, Will, and Daniel. They're just kind of standing around in this kind of like the waiting area in this little hospital. It's not particularly busy from what you can tell. You can see some people kind of sitting around in the building or in the waiting room. So you can see that some of them have a variety of different injuries. Like you can see some of them have some makeshift bandages over like their face in some degree, or their arms and whatnot, but they don't seem to be as critically injured as Fernando was. So I guess at this point you could probably do like a little bit of role playing, and we'll see what we can do from there.
Yeah, I guess Will's just pacing around the waiting room anxiously and just can't really focus on anything else but just the task at hand, just kind of waiting to see any news that comes up.
Joseph sitting in the chair, I'm wondering if they would have let him.
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit.
Joseph's just sitting in a chair in the waiting room, idly wondering if they would have let him bring in his gun.
Let's see. They don't seem to have minded much that you brought in, a fully automatic weapon along with you. They all around seem very friendly towards you guys. And let's see. All right. Now, let's see. Okay, so after maybe like 30 minutes, or maybe 30 minutes to an hour, you can't really tell, but through the sliding doors, you see this young woman just kind of run in very hastily. Her clothes are torn in various places. She's not very well decent, and she looks kind of panicked.
I guess Will would kind of just see this kind of happen and walk up and ask her, "Is everything okay?" Like, obviously she's just running in.
Yeah, like she runs in, maybe like 10 feet into like the lobby, and she like kind of collapses to her knees, and then you walk up, and she basically just says, "Someone just tried to rape me."
I guess I would, or Will would rather just kind of inquire more, just be like where, when, like what happened.
Well, I thought I was. I live nearby, and I thought I'd heard a noise outside of my house, and I went out to investigate, and somebody grabbed me from behind. I didn't get a very good look, but I think there were more of them. I think that they were wearing. I remember them wearing some sort of uniform. I think they had like some sort of. They looked like they were soldiers, but I didn't get a very good look. They tried ripping off my clothes and pinning me down, but I was able to escape, and now here I am.
Soldiers, did you get a good look at their uniforms?
They looked like they might have been wearing like the same kind of. It basically looked. It looked like the same kind of uniform that some of these peacekeepers are wearing. I didn't get a look at like any names on their uniforms, but they were definitely wearing camouflage uniforms.
And the blue helmets or blue berets?
I didn't recall them wearing any helmets or hats at all.
Where was this again?
She says that she lives. She lives maybe about like 5 minutes away on. Say Rose Street. See, there's like a little. It's like a little south of this hospital. There's a little trailer park. Say that this woman lived there in that trailer park.
After you escaped, how long did they pursue you?
They maybe ran after me for about 10 seconds before they gave up chase.
Did someone else see them chasing you?
I don't know. All I wanted to do was get away from them.
I understand.
Yeah, smart thinking. It's a good thing you managed to get away and get over here.
Yeah, you kind of look over her, and beyond being clothes being torn, and very, very clearly like she was being forced upon. Like she had she has like a black eye and a few other bruises on her body, roundabout where her clothes have been like ripped up or off or whatever.
Well, Joseph, we just got here, but we already have something to investigate. It seems.
That we do. I guess let's head over to that trailer park and take a look around.
Good idea.
Alright, she gives you her address. Like she tells you what her address is, and she is then kind of taken away by a few other medics to receive some medical attention, and they'll probably do they'll probably like start doing like their own like investigation, but you of course can do your own little bit of vigilante justice, or at least you have the opportunity to.
The question is, if we were to pursue vigilante justice, I think we would want to apprehend rather than kill the perpetrators, because if we do kill them, we might piss off the UN.
Yeah, they might not agree with the way we're.
They tend to be sticklers for court-martialing people.
So, I guess then you can. Now you have her address. This woman here was taken away by some more nurses. She's getting looked at, and they're asking her all sorts of questions. So now you have your two comrades are getting the medical attention that they need, and now you have this sexual assault mystery that just popped up out of the blue. You head out to your vehicle and head to the location, or do you maybe let somebody know about what just happened? I mean, obviously they're gonna know what just happened because this woman's gonna tell them, but it's up to you guys. It's like what your actions could be.
Mm. I'm good anyway. I guess we could mention to the staff there that we're gonna try to investigate and figure this out. This seems to be a time-sensitive thing.
Yeah.
And if there's any updates on our friend Fernando, obviously, let us know. Or
your friend with the broken leg is in surgery as we speak. Your other friend is being tended to by some of our other medics for his injuries. I personally wouldn't suggest that you go off doing any investigating. I would leave that to the authority of the UN. They will take care of it. But that's our procedure. I can't very well tell you what to do. I'm not in charge.
Well, let's go do it.
all right.
So we head to the trailer park and we head to the address. And when we get there, I think I'd like to look around to see if there's any obvious like groups of footprints where maybe the pursuing soldiers might have been. Can I roll like tracking for that?
Yeah, roll tracking.
Oh crap! I think that's another one.
So that's a fumble, correct?
Not a natural one, but a one.
Okay, so since it's a non-natural one, it's not necessarily a fumble, but you can't just in your tired state you can't seem to make out any discernible footprints. What's Will gonna do?
I guess we'll kind of be along the same lines, just kind of looking for any evidence of anything, I guess. I do have training, so that's not the worst. Yeah, I didn't do much better with the 3.
So you were gonna do tracking as well?
Yeah, I was doing tracking.
Yeah, you can't really make out any discernible footprints. It's been kind of dry lately. It hasn't really rained all that much, so we'll say it's really difficult to like make out any real footprints. But you kind of like maybe do like a little bit of a walk around of the premises. You can definitely see signs that something happened here. Like you can see shreds. You see shreds of this woman's torn clothes. You can also see like some very kind of like you can see like kind of dents in the like the corrugated steel walls of the trailer where it kind of at like head level, so it looks like there was some sort of a scuffle here. It was a window looks to be broken, which is also at head level for this woman. But other than that, you can't really you don't have any leads as to where these perpetrators might have gone.
She gave them a hell of a fight, it looks like.
Yep. Now this building with the smashed window, or the broken window, is there anything? Is it like just abandoned, or
What's up?
the broken window, broken kind of smashed areas?
Yeah.
Is that like an abandoned area, or is it like an abandoned building?
No, it's the same trailer that in the at the same address. It's the same building.
Okay. And there's nobody outside the building, anyone that might have been a potential witness?
Not as far as you can tell, but you can always go and I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but you could maybe like go door to door and see if maybe somebody heard something or saw something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Anything that looks like it has some sort of inhabitant in it, we'll go and try and knock, figure out what's going on.
So you go like a few houses down. You see one that has like its porch lights on. You go up to the door and knock, let's just say a man walks out. He's probably about your age. He's wearing like a dirty wife beater and some shorts.
Morning.
Morning, like, what do you want?
Sorry to bother you. You didn't happen to hear any like commotion out front in the last little hour or so, did you?
I heard a woman's screaming like a little further. I heard like a woman screaming like a little further down the street. Yeah. Are you
That's all you heard? That's all you saw?
Well, I just kind of got out to like go like grab a beer from the fridge, and then I heard some woman screaming. I went out, grabbed my shotgun, looked out. I see this woman just run past my house, followed by like 3 other guys.
You know any of the guys or recognize any of them?
Well, they looked like they were like some of these peacekeeper types, but they weren't wearing any helmets or anything.
Could you tell us about what they look like as best you can?
I remember one of them being quite tall. Like I think he was maybe like 6'6" or something. And then the other guys were just kind of like average height, like my height. I'm only about like 5'10", but yeah, one of them looked like they had their hand was maybe a little bloodied a little bit, but I wasn't entirely sure. Like they were just kind of like racing past me whenever I saw them. I wasn't about to like shoot at them, because that would land me in a whole heap of trouble. So I just let them go, and there wasn't really too much else I could do at that point. So I just been sitting up ever since.
Thank you for your time,
Damn.
sir.
Yeah, one last question. You didn't see where they went last, did you?
Well, they were heading. Yeah, they were heading a little. They were heading northward, like down Victor Street. Like
Perfect.
past.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Good luck in find them creeps. And he just turns back and heads back inside his house.
All right, I guess we'll start heading that way. I see if we can see anything.
Yeah.
Alright. So you're just gonna like head off down the way. You're heading like northwest, off towards the street that he had mentioned. It's just a bunch of suburban houses, and then there's a church behind a few of them on the it would be on your left side. There's a small church, You know, none of them have lights on. They look like, you know, any of the residents might have been. You know, they might be asleep. So what are you guys gonna do now?
I can't really think of anything else to find us some new clues if we're not really seeing anybody out. We're not really. I guess I'll walk around this church a little bit, just see if there's anything going. I know the lights are all out, but just see if I see anything.
You walk around. You kind of like start walking around the church, and make a perception check. There's a little bit of like street lights in there, like, so it's not totally dark, but maybe add like a -1 to that. So yeah, make a perception check.
It was 17 actually.
What'd you
altogether.
say?
17, sorry.
17.
Altogether.
You kind of walk around the church and you find one of those blue berets on the ground behind the church.
I'll pick it up and just kind of show Joseph. Seems a bit odd, don't you think? Makes me wonder if these really were guards and not just some people that found some uniforms.
Maybe. I wonder if we could start knocking on doors here and say that we are. I'll tell you what, I'll put on that beret and I'll say I'm with the UN and I am investigating this matter. And I'll put on some kind of accent. It's foolproof.
Sounds good. Like it.
Okay.
Because if your hunch is right, that this is just some people who found those uniforms, then I can gauge the reaction I get from people, and we can look for that 6'6" guy. And what do you think of this plan?
Sounds good to me. That's all we're running on right now, so we're definitely in the right area.
I guess I will put on that beret, remove the cowboy hat that I bought some time ago, and start knocking on doors.
Okay. So on that street, on Victor Street, there's like 8 houses on that roundabout. 8 houses on that street, like on both sides, and then there's a couple more houses in the surrounding area. So let's see. Just gonna go to one of them and see if somebody answers.
Yep.
Okay. First house you knock on, somebody does answer. It's It's a little old lady, probably in her mid-70s.
Excuse me, miss. Would you... So I'm with the... Actually, should I put on an accent since it wouldn't really make sense for an American to be with the UN if America is getting invaded by Russia? Put on some kind of British accent and say, "Excuse me, miss. I'm with the UN um, investigating a sexual assault which took place not far from here, and the perpetrators fled into this area. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?"
Well, certainly, she says.
All right. Would you happen to have seen? I believe it was 5 men, if I recall, in camouflage uniforms, no helmets, no berets, running down this road within the last hour.
Uh, I believe I saw what you had described. I remember seeing, these men, running back down the street. They cut behind 2 houses, and they had gotten into a vehicle that they had parked behind the church back there, and they had sped off.
Hmm.
You don't happen to remember what kind of vehicle it might have been, do you, ma'am?
I didn't get a particularly good look at it. It looked like it was some sort of a sedan.
Any color at all, or?
I think it was green.
Okay, I know it's dark out, so thanks.
Is there anything else that I can help you with?
Would one of them happen to have been really tall?
Yeah, I do remember one of them being abnormally tall compared to the others.
And did you recognize any of them from anywhere?
Well, I've seen. I could have sworn I had seen like kind of a particularly tall, peacekeeper wandering around here. I think he had his last name across his uniform. I believe it was Braun, Braun.
Thank you, ma'am. If my associate here doesn't have any more questions, we'll be going now. Thank you very much.
I'm good, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well,
And
she
I
saw
guess,
more than the last couple of people, so.
yeah.
I mean, if they sped off, they might be long gone from here. Maybe we should head back to the hospital and kind of reevaluate what we need to do here.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're gonna head back to you're gonna walk back to your camper van and head back to the hospital. And let's Yeah, you make your way back to the hospital. You see a young man, or youngish man as far as you can tell. It's kind of standing outside the hospital. He's smoking a cigarette. You can also see his hand is bandaged up. His right hand is bandaged up.
I whisper to William, "You reckon this is one of our guys?"
Could be, man. Could be.
He's wearing civilian clothes, and he appears to be, average height, like round about like, the height of, some of the men described. You said he was like 5'10". That's what the first man that you said.
Yeah, because I remember the guy described one of them as having a wound on his hand. What do you say we ask this guy some questions?
I'm down.
All right.
I guess we would probably walk up and approach the guy and just say, "Hey, man, how's it going?"
Probably, if he's leaning against the wall, I think he said, maybe one of us on each side of him. That's always very unnerving when it happens to you.
Is Joseph still wearing the beret?
Probably not, no.
Okay, so you've taken it off and put your cowboy hat back on. So the two of you just kind of walk up and kind of get on both sides of him. And he just kind of like looks over at both of you, just takes a drag of his cigarette, just trying to play it cool.
Anything you want to tell us about, young man?
What do you need to know?
Oh, I'm just saying we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
He kind of like squints at you. He's like, "What are you talking about?"
What I'm talking about is best left unsaid. Well, at least by me. If you'd like to admit to it, if you'd like to own up to it right now, we can get this over with quick. Now, on the off chance you're not who we're looking for, you better pray you're persuasive. I would like to roll to intimidate him by saying that.
Yeah. Well, let me see. I might. What is the? I gotta find out what your.
Oh yeah, it's the fright mod system. I forget.
Yeah, I gotta remember how that works.
It has gone up.
Yeah, because you have that. You have the scar. Yeah, you gotta figure that out real quick. -2. You have a -2 fright mod, so I guess I'll roll morale for him.
Good stuff.
See what happens. Let's see. Yeah, he doesn't seem particularly unnerved. He's pretty cool about it, and It's I don't know what you guys are getting at, but it's like I sure as hell didn't do anything.
What happened to your hand then?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Or what happened to your hand then?
Oh, I had smashed it, like trying to like. I had got into a little scuffle with some gangsters, and they were trying to like make off with my car, and they smashed my hand like with the door.
You sound like you've seen too many movies, son. I'd like the truth.
Like the truth is like is the fucking truth, man. Like I don't know like what you guys are out looking for, but
So you're out there fighting gangsters in the streets. Who are you, Batman?
no, I'm just like some I'm just that everyday like Joe, man, is like trying to like live a normal life in this like shithole world that we're living in anymore.
Living a normal life and assaulting young women.
Assaulting young women? Where did that come from?
Where did that come from? And I pointed his hand again.
I told you where I got that from.
Tell me, do you have any dealings with the UN?
I've come across them a few times. It's like they've been in here for like the past like year trying to restore some sort of order here.
I'm going to walk around him and go next to William and whisper, "What do you make of him?"
I don't know, man. It's this guy with the broken hand. Where did this supposed carjacking happen?
It was like I was driving down like East Thistle Drive, and some guys like from had jumped me from like behind. They were like hiding out behind that church, and they took my car, and that's where I got this hand injury.
What does your car look like?
It's like a green Volvo sedan.
I'll just kind of look over at Joseph, and
I think he's telling the truth. I say out loud.
we might have had the guys that jumped you. You didn't get a good look at them at all, did you?
No, they just looked like your everyday gangbangers. They had their they had like hoods on, whatnot. I didn't get a good look at what they looked like.
There's none that were super short or perhaps super tall, or
wasn't. What? I mean, at the time, I didn't particularly care what they looked like. I was just trying to get my car back.
Any of them wearing camouflage uniforms?
No.
All right. What's your name?
My name is Nicholas. Black.
You live nearby?
I live a few blocks. Live a few blocks down. I just moved down here from Weirton a couple years ago before this damn invasion happened.
Small world. I'll just kind of look at Joseph and be like, we should probably check on Fernando here.
I suppose give him a status report.
Yeah. All right, well, you take care and stay safe, and if you see anything about your car, hear anything, just spread the word, and if you see us, let us know.
All right, man. Just he just kind of uneasily just starts walking down like the sidewalk, like his shoulders are kind of like buries his head down, just kind of walks away kind of awkwardly.
I think we scared the shit out of that guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for him to enjoy his smoke after that, I think.
Poor guy.
It's had a rough day, but at least we're gaining some traction here.
Yeah, let's go check on Fernando.
Okay, so you go back into the waiting room, and funnily enough, sitting in one of the chairs, his leg in a cast, is Fernando, and he has a pair of crutches at his side.
How's it going, Fernando?
Yeah, I don't know yet, but if my injury is healed soon, then I'll know. But yeah, it's too
Are
early
you able to
say
walk
anything.
with those crutches?
Yeah. I mean, sure. It's just whether my bone grows back fine. Because it might grow back awkward. And it might also have some complications. So let's hope it's fine. It should be fine.
We have been busy, I'll tell you.
Yep. Getting into trouble. Or staying out of trouble.
Well, we encountered a woman who had been the victim of an attempted sexual assault by, I believe it was 4 or 5 gentlemen in camouflage uniforms, no berets, no helmets. And one of them
certainly were gentle with her.
Yeah, one of them freakishly tall. And they ran down Victor Street, if I recall, got into a sedan, which we believe they may have jacked, and drove off.
Yeah, well, stuff like that is bound to happen when order is deteriorating. So I'm not surprised, but it's very sad. certainly for the woman. That is, these guys probably enjoy that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we don't have much more to
I
go
would
off of,
never
but
be. Yeah, couldn't see
we got
myself.
the last name of one of them was Braun, Braun, but that's all we have.
Well,
Roll.
if it if you guys make it like your goal to hunt these guys down, then I guess I'll help you. But
Um,
let's see if we can.
roll. Roll world lore, Fernando.
Oh, all right. That's very good. I got almost 20, 19.
You hear that? You hear them say the name. Say the name Braun, and you distinctly remember.
What was the name
just
again?
kinda
Braun.
Braun, Braun,
Braun.
or Brown.
Okay.
But
Braun, Braun.
you distinctly remember a man named Nicholas Braun. Being
Mm-hmm.
admitted to the being admitted as you're waiting for Joseph and Will to return.
Braun, Braun. Where have I heard that name before?
You also you also distinctly remember this. You distinctly remember this man as he came in. He was like holding his right hand, and he said I broke my hand and whatnot, and he's looked basically exactly like the man that they had just talked to, that Joseph and Will had just talked to.
Huh. So, sounds like I know the guy.
Well, you don't know him, but you remember seeing and
I know the guy
hearing
they're
of him.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know the guy that you're talking about. Yes.
So you said his last name was Braun.
Yes.
Well, I heard a guy that broke his arm
He broke his hand.
say his name was Braun when he was asked. So if you guys are
Come to think of it,
talking about the same Braun, then I think it's probably him.
I do recall when we asked that guy what his name was, he stammered for a bit. Sounded like he was going to say Braun, but then he said Black.
Ah,
Yeah, I think I caught that too now that you
Well.
mention it.
well then
How far
Sounds
you
like-
think you got?
Not far.
Well, let's go.
yeah, right. I'm about to just go out of the hospital with my crutches and go on chasing some rapist. I think I'll probably stay in the hospital.
All right. Well, me and William shall chase after him.
Let's do it.
Nice. So, yeah, you get back into the van. Daniel is he's gone to sleep for the night, so he's in the back just snoozing away, and you guys are just driving around looking for the man that you had just talked to. Both of you make a tracking roll.
I got a 6.
And William?
Let's say 14 altogether.
You remember seeing you remember seeing him that he went. You kind of like watched him as he left. He went north, and went. He just kind of like walked off into the grass and started walking in that direction. And you can, as you kind of like drive away, you can see like some like dew has kind of started to form on like the grass, so you can get like a little bit of an idea like of his tracks where he went, and he was heading walk down the field, and his now wet shoes, or somewhat wet shoes, made some tracks down like Kevin Drive. As you're kind of driving your way out of the hospital parking lot.
I guess we would probably start heading that way. I'd probably mention that to Joseph and everyone.
You there? Did you hear that, Trenton?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Will, points out like the tracks in like the morning dew that has started to form on the grass, and like you left a little bit of footprints crossing the street and heading down Kevin Drive for a few feet before they kind of die off, but he's heading off in that direction, and on foot he's probably not traveling super fast. So let's see. Yep. Yeah, you head off down that way, and at about the intersection between Paddock Green Drive and Walter Drive, you see the figure of the man that you were just talking to, just kind of still, just walking down the street. He's a bit more relaxed now that he's out of your presence, or so he thinks.
I'm gonna ask, who's driving again?
Well, one of you two is driving because Daniel's asleep in the back.
I guess I would be driving. So I have the training, I think.
I'm gonna ask William to pull up next to the guy and start like creeping along
like matches speed perfectly.
Yeah. And then as you do that, I'm gonna roll down the window and smile at him and say, "Hey, remember me?"
I'll just be tucking the beret on my head.
Okay, so you kind of start creeping up next to this guy. He looks over and he sees Joe just go, "Hey, remember us?" And his eyes go as wide as dinner plates, and he just starts booking it down the street.
I'm going to get out the car and start chasing him and try to tackle him.
Let me let me go and figure that out. I believe there's that. That would be what skill would that be? I'm trying to think.
I think that would be athletics.
Stamina? No. Yeah, it could be athletics.
And then there's grappling rules somewhere in the combat rules.
There's like there's rules for like grappling and wrestling. So I'm gonna say, yeah, make an acrobatics roll to see if you can like catch up to him, and then like you're gonna get out of the vehicle and just like try and tackle the guy, and then we'll go from there.
Oh boy, another 6, and with mods that is still 6. No, 5.
You get out of the vehicle just fine, but he's like just one step ahead of you, so you don't grab him, unfortunately. But he's still like dashing down the street.
William, what do you do?
I'll be driving the car up ahead, and if I get an opportunity to kind of like cut him off, I will, but it seems a little dangerous.
Yeah, make a driving check.
Yeah. Okay. 18.
Yeah, you see you see that Joseph misses his chance to grab him, and you see he's getting away, so you floor it to get ahead of him, and just as he's about to like cross the street, you just kind of like make a quick like right turn to cut him off a little bit. Maybe he kind of like bumps into the side of the vehicle a little bit. Actually, gonna make a check for him. Ooh. So let's say you kind of like bump him a little bit on this, like with like the side of the vehicle, and it just knocks him off balance for him to like fall to the ground.
Nice.
Does that mean I can start apprehending him?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to run up to him, and since I probably still have my gun on my shoulder, I'll pull it off and point it at him, tell him to freeze.
And he just kind of he kind of just like gets on his knees and he just has his hands up, just like, I'm not moving, man. I'm not moving.
Call me sir. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now get up.
He gets up on his feet. His hands are still up in the air.
I will march him into the van and keep the gun pointed at him.
Okay. So you herd him into the van, and you have your rifle, or either your rifle or your MP40 trained on him the whole time. And so now you've apprehended this guy. And where's Will gonna go like now?
I would recommend, if I may, going to the hospital and trying to see if we can turn him over to whoever's in charge of the investigation.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. And is Fernando able to like identify this guy as well?
Well, Fernando's at the hospital still.
Oh, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can ask
Should
him
be
when
quite
you get
easy.
there.
Cool.
So yeah, William's gonna just drive off to the hospital. And so what's Joseph gonna do? I mean, other than keep his sights on the other guy. Is he...
My idea would be once we get there for William, it would probably be best if Joseph and Braun stayed in the car, and William went into the hospital and told them the situation. Because obviously we're not just going to go into the hospital duck marching a guy with a gun to his back.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
it's probably
Probably
better
a
to
good
kind of get some authorities in on this kind of deal.
okay. So you guys return to the hospital, and say Will goes into the waiting room. Fernando is still there. So what's Will gonna do like once he steps through those doors?
I'd probably tell Fernando that I think we got him, and ask him if he feels like identifying him or if he could, and then I'd try to
I
gather
don't
some
mind
sort of
identifying.
I'd try and find some sort of like staff or guards, security, and see if they can find someone of significant authority to kind of take over from here.
Alright, so yeah. You're gonna like come you say Fernando's gonna go trying to identify the man, so he's probably gonna stand up with his crutches and kind of slowly make his way over to the van. And
Yep.
I think you said Will like kind of gets the attention of like someone, a guard, and he kind of like walks out with the Will and the guard, and they go to the van. And once Fernando gets to the van, and I'm not gonna have you roll for that. You can it's 100%, like there's no doubt about it.
It's him.
It's the guy.
Well, there's no few opinions on this. This is the same person that was here earlier that was called also Braun, so I think you've got the right man.
And
I didn't know he was a rapist back then, but now I do.
You don't just assume these things, you know.
okay,
Yeah.
and
Well, I didn't assume it. It's just based on, you know, what you said.
the guard, who's also a
We can also
peacekeeper.
find that woman again, and she can maybe,
oh
you
yeah,
know, if she recognizes
absolutely.
him.
So you could the guard goes off to find the woman who just so happens to still be at the hospital. Like she's probably like 10 minutes pass, and the guard comes back with the woman who is she has like a hospital gown on, and she's just like, that's one of them. That's the it's like that's the guy. He tried to like knock me out or something, but he missed and like hit the side of my the siding of my house. So yeah, you've found one of three.
I'm Joseph Breckenridge, and this is To Catch a Predator.
I think you've caught the predator. We also got the our Fernando is like thinking about making a pun for the deer and the car, but then he remembers that
Oh yeah.
probably
I
best
forgot
keep
about
his
that.
mouth shut.
All right, so the guard, who is also a UN peacekeeper, and he grabs a pair of handcuffs and handcuffs Mr. Nicholas Braun, and he thanks you guys, and he basically says, we'll take the investigation from here.
Haha.
And
Well, I mean, good luck. I hope you catch them all.
Yeah, thanks for patching up our friend, and I'm glad we could help you guys out a little bit.
Yeah. It's always good doing a good deed.
yes. So yeah, the guard takes Mr. Braun away, and it's now about like maybe like 5:30. It's like the very, very early morning, and I'd say the majority of you are pretty exhausted at this point. I would say, I think especially for like Joseph, I think you at this point would be weary from.
I imagine I probably would be one stage tired too, because I was actually weary from the last game.
Yeah, you were weary too. Yeah, you would still be weary, and
Okay.
you would have still been weary. But,
Yep.
yeah, I think you would definitely go into exhausted at this point. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think it would at this, at this at this point, it might be advisable for you guys to take some rest. But that is, of course, up to you guys.
Yeah, that's a good
I
idea.
think I'll take a rest.
Alright, so we'll say since Daniel is already hit the sack, I'd say you guys kind of park your van somewhere in the parking lot. It's kind of it's not a very small parking lot, but you park it somewhere, and you guys just kind of get into the back and get some rest. And I think at this point maybe we'll call it there, and we'll continue it next week.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
All right, so it was a fun little a little bit of a mystery there. So stop the recording and the broadcast.